So white supremacy thinks that it's getting its clap back. The system of white supremacy is upset with all the L's that foundational Black Americans are giving them. So they think that their get back is to donate to a racist white woman. But unfortunately for them, it's really not going to work out the way they want it to.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. We have much to discuss this evening. There is a situation which we're going to explain in case people didn't notice. There was a situation with a racist white woman who's openly, admittedly racist. She accosted a 5-year-old Black boy who happens to also be autistic. And now she's receiving all types of praise, all types of money from a lot of suspected white supremacists online. So the lady's name here is Hendrix, and they're doing this really out of spite for Carmelo Anthony and how Black people, Black America is so on code when it comes to defending Carmelo Anthony's legal rights. Okay, despite what you guys might think as of yet, we don't know all of the facts, all of the evidence of the situation. But what we do know is that Carmelo Anthony does have rights, and his rights do need to be protected, and that's what we were doing. We are protecting his rights as a citizen, his rights as an American, his rights as a foundational Black American. That's what we're doing. That's why we're raising the money to assist in that, right? They're upset, and they think that their clap back, they think that their get back is to donate to a racist white woman. And I have to discuss this. There needs to be a conversation on this, but I can't do this alone, or I don't want to. I will say I don't want to do this alone. So I brought for you all this evening our good brother, one of the day ones here. He's been here since before this channel reached even 1,000. Now we're over 20,000. So let me humbly introduce you all our good brother Torian Rain. Torian, how you doing?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in my chat. Shout out to everybody in Afro Elite chat. We got some things to discuss this evening. Like I said before we came on here, I was initially going to do this on my own, like as a separate live, but I said I had so many other lives before this, and I saw Afro was going live today. I said, this is perfect. I got time today, and we're going to need a lot of time to get through all of this. So this is going to be a very interesting discussion, to say the least.
Yeah. So the chat room, can we get some like what birthday things? Because Torian's birthday was just the other day. Torian just had a birthday, so happy belated to Torian.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, as we're starting off, in case you guys haven't seen it, a lot of you guys who probably aren't on Twitter, X is what they call it now, maybe you guys haven't seen it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the video. But before we do that, because there are other things we got to play, but before we do that, we got to play the copyright disclaimer. And as we do that, we would appreciate if you guys hit that like button, comment, all of that stuff. So let's get started. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay. All right. Here we go. So we're going to play this video. Now, we did kind of the actual word is blurred out. All right. But she does say the word with the hard ER. You can't hear it because it's blurred out, but she does say the word with the hard ER. So we're going to play that right now. All right. So here we go.
The child? You call him a child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child?
None of your fucking business.
It is my business. You call him? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, sir.
Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you dumb.
A little kid, you call him?
Yeah,
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chased him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Okay. So a lot of people online. What happened to her? A lot of people, what they did is they found. Well, of course, they found her name. The child. Now, the person who recorded is not the child's father. What a lot of people have been digging into, and they found out is that the person who recorded the video is a friend of the child's family. So he's a friend of the family, and his kids go to the park there, and their kids go to the park. So it could have been that he probably, even though he's not the father, he was there supervising the child, and that's why he knows that. Because why would you just assume a child's age? He probably knows the child's age, or whatever the case is. A lot of people also are like, oh, the child looks older than 5. Regardless of that, whether the child was 5, 10, whatever, this is a grown woman with a child in her arms. Okay. All we have as of right now is that the child is 5 years old by somebody who allegedly knows the child. So we're going to stick to the fact that this child is 5 years old. All right. Also, other reports have came out and said that this child is also autistic as well, too. Now, I also want to say that we have not seen, this is the only video we've seen so far. So we haven't seen any video of the actual kid digging into the bag or whatever the case is. So for all we know, that could be made up. It's alleged that this kid was looking into her bag and all of that stuff. We don't know that. Okay. She's just claiming that the kid was going in her kid's bag or taking stuff out of her bag, which is a little inconsistent because even in her what's the Gifts and Go, I keep trying to stop myself from saying GoFundMe. Even in the Gifts and Go, her story is a little bit like inconsistent there. Her story is a little bit inconsistent. I'm gonna pull up her Gifts and Go right now. Let me share it to you guys. Hold on. Okay, so this is the Gifts and Go. You guys can see right here. So this is her, Protect My Family. My name is Sola. A lot of people saying she's a European immigrant. I think most likely she is. I have been put into a higher. You said what?
They saying that she's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Okay, that's what I was hearing. I've been put into a dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. Okay. I called the kid out for what he was. That's interesting. So she's not taking it back or apologizing. Another man who we recently found out has a history with law enforcement, that's irrelevant, proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. It doesn't actually look like in the video he was following her to her car, but maybe he did.
Because the video cuts off at that point before she even gets, like, we don't even know where they're walking to. I was unaware that she was even going to her car.
Yeah. And he stopped. He was following to a certain point, and then he stopped, and she walked off. This is what we saw in the video. But she's saying he followed her to her car. He then posted these videos online, which caused my family and myself great turmoil. Oh, like the turmoil you caused that little baby, the little kid. My social security number has been leaked, allegedly. That's alleged. We're gonna, because we don't know that. Of course, you're gonna say that allegedly. My phone number have been given out freely, allegedly. My family members are being attacked. Oh Lord. Okay, all of this is. She can't substantiate any of this stuff. We don't know this. I haven't seen any of this. I'm not saying it's not true, but where's the proof of this? My oldest child may not be going back to school. Well, you should have thought about that before you did that. Even where I exercise, which is her gym, most likely, has been exposed. I'm asking for your help to assist in protecting my family. I fear we must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to an extreme. by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear. Thank you. I mean, you are moving, so is that not living in? Okay. Torian, what do you got to say about this, brother? Talk to me.
When I first when I first saw this, I already knew what direction this was headed into. And I knew because it's coming off of the heels of the Austin Metcalf, Carmelo Anthony situation that they were going to go out in droves and donate to this woman because of what she said. And then anyone who's on Twitter, like you and myself and anybody else in the chat, has seen it, at least for the last few days, how now what she's done has emboldened them immensely online. Like I can't, like I was telling you today, and we're going to get into this later, about how a post that I was responding to, it looked like Jim Crow 2.0 under my thread. I mean, I had somebody who I had to actually, and I haven't done this in a while, I had to actually report their page to Twitter because they took a screenshot of me, like my picture, and put, I don't want to say the word, but it was the other word for remedial, N-word underneath it with my picture on there. Because I responded to what they said. And that was what May 3rd when I posted this up, and it's now May 5th, and they're still going at it 2 days later. They're probably going to be going at it for the rest of the week. But now they feel like they are so emboldened, they feel like they've won something because of what she said. And like you said before, they keep saying RIP to white guilt. And I mean, if it's the delusion. The delusion is real on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it right now.
Yeah, it is. It's something. I saw this, and this went. It didn't go nearly as viral as Torian's did because his thing blew up.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to get that much engagement. Like I always tell people all the time, I don't post things for things to go viral, and that was the last post I was expecting to move the way that it did.
Yeah, it definitely blew up. Let me show you. This is what I posted because this woman said RIP white guilt May 1st. Okay, this was the first in which it happened, right? And I said, quote, white guilt is a code word for N-word lover. Okay, because that's what a lot of them, and why I realized that, and we got to understand their code words, is because remember, we have to go all the way back to the situation with Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. And remember how the dad of Austin Metcalf, Jeff Metcalf, he was all like, I want justice for my son, but I forgive and all of that stuff. And especially after his situation with what's his name? Torian?
Jake Lang.
Jake Lane. After his situation with Jake Lane,
that
he was all
failed
like, hey, I'm not with you guys.
That failed so-called protest.
Yeah, the terrible White Lives Matter protecting us from black violence protest. After that complete embarrassment of a protest and waste of time, they were like, oh, the dad is so filled with white guilt. That means you're not going to sit up there and pronounce your love for whiteness. You're not going to sit up there and scream white power like you're a damn Klansman. Okay, so all of this quote unquote white guilt is essentially you not accepting or promoting white supremacy, which is the modern day version of a nigga lover, which is what they used to call any white person who wasn't lockstep on code with the system of white supremacy. You are a nigga lover. You're a nigga lover. So now white guilt is, and they say that anybody who's like not on code with them, oh, you suffer from white guilt. Okay. So that's what they were saying with Austin Metcalf's father, and that's what they're saying with a lot of other people too. So they're celebrating.
And speaking of that, I already got one troll that popped up into, and I know they popped up in mine. They like to do the thing where they type out the N-word every comment instead of all as one. So I just had to bend just that fast.
Yeah, they're already in here. I know
they claim. I mean, for a group of people that claim they want to get away from us, they find a way to find us when we're not seeking them out and do stuff like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they do. Let me go to some of the replies here because this is very telling. So, as you know, they talk about white guilt, and then they bring up these victim stories. This is gonna make you laugh, I think, Torian. I think this is gonna make you laugh.
I
They
haven't
bring up
stopped. I
these,
haven't stopped laughing, honestly. And
they
they
bring up
think
these
and
victim
they think
stories.
doing this and they keep thinking that doing this is going to make us like cry, something like that. I can't tell you how many comments I've seen where they say, "Oh, you're cry harder," or "Black tears are
Mhm.
delicious." Or what. I'm like, I haven't shed one tear about this. I've just been laughing and shaking my head at y'all because y'all are some clowns.
They honestly think they're doing something. They
They
think they
really do.
churning and changing the pendulum is swinging back their way and they're regaining power. They really do believe that donating to this woman is them like reclaiming their power.
Mhm.
And now they're bringing up all of these fake victim stories. Look at this, okay? This story I saw, I just went to screenshot
Oh,
because
I
it was
saw
funny.
this one.
The other day at Universal Studios, a black girl shoved me because I wouldn't let her cut to the head of the line and repeatedly called me the N-word. For her, it's just another Tuesday. Where I would do the same thing, or where I would do the same, my entire life would be destroyed.
Now, you know, when I saw that, I said, get out of here with that. Really, really. How ironic this happens on the cusp of this. See, and that's another thing that's going to start happening. Y'all are going to start seeing a lot of these individuals are going to start coming up with fake stories to put out there to propagandize against us so they can garner sympathy because they see what has happened with Shiloh Hendrix and getting all this money. So this is their new hustle, saying that a black person somehow aggrieved them in some way and then put out something like that and then create a give, send, go or whatever to get money. It's about, this is going to be their new hustle. So I want people to be aware of this. This is their way of trying to get a come up and they have to use us to do it. But they claim they don't like us and they want to get away from us. But y'all, I can practically write the script to this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can write the script to this.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. There's going to be a whole bunch of this uptick of viral videos of white victimhood where next thing you know, they're going to claim like, oh, white people are being oppressed by the blacks. And if you say anything, then everybody online is going to call you racist. So white people have to suffer in silence. And there's white guilt, so you don't want to say anything against black people who are stealing from you and victimizing you. This black girl called this fat white woman the N-word at Universal Studios and nothing happened at all. Oh my God, what's happening to the world? What's happening to America? That and we clearly know that's not true. We clearly know that doesn't make any sense at all. Okay. But they're using that stuff to promote this propaganda. They're promoting this woman right here saying white guilt seems to be on the decline. Solo Hendrix is already a meme. So they're making several memes of her online. They're like making a bunch of different crazy memes of her online.
Yeah. And they, like I said, they're using her as a launch pad in order to air out what they've always wanted to say. But the thing is, this is not a one shoe size fits all type of thing. Don't think that because what she did and how she's getting how everything's working out seemingly for her is going to work out for every last one of you. All I'm gonna say is this: y'all better keep whatever it is that y'all want to say online, because when you step offline and you go out into the real world and you try that with somebody who is not as, I would say, forgiving or doesn't have as much restraint, you gonna need a give, send, go for a whole nother reason.
Oh damn. Hey, it's a new day. It's a new day. So looking at the situation, looking at the gifts and go, you got people who are making stories online about it. I got a couple of things I want to read before we get to Torian's viral post. I got a couple of things. This guy says, Keith Wood says, the main reasons whites, the main reason whites are starting to wake up to their racial interest, that's an interesting way to phrase that, their racial interest and ongoing victimization is
and
that
spell victimization wrong. My God.
Yeah, yeah, he did. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Listen,
I didn't even notice that. He
I'm
did
gonna tell you this. Whenever I'm dealing with people like this, I'm usually not the grammar police or anything like that. But when I'm dealing with people that I don't like, I will turn into the grammar police. I'm checking spelling, I'm checking punctuation, I'm checking did you properly use a period, a comma? Did you use an apostrophe where it was supposed to be, a question mark, exclamation point? Why are you talking in all caps? I'm that guy. But yeah, he spelled victimization wrong. And I'm like, in the world of autocorrect, how do you still mess this up? I know a red line went under that thing before you press send.
That's true. He probably thinks his phone is woke or is DEI or something. He thought the red line was DEI. That's why he didn't want to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people, Torian, are these not the people of high IQs? What happened to being high IQ?
They don't care about that no more. They never did.
Let's continue. The ongoing victimization is that with social media, they can now see how other races view them in an unfiltered form. The fundraiser for Hendrix, I think that's how it's pronounced, Hendrix or Solo Hendrix.
Shiloh Hendrix.
Shiloh Hendrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would have not received, now this is very important, y'all, would have not received the support it did if it would if not for seeing how blacks responded to the murder of Austin Metcalf. Now, as I was saying, this is their quote unquote way of getting back. This is their revenge. Mm-hmm. Them trying to get the spin back. This is their clapback of Austin Metcalf. It says, in a multiracial society where everyone else is tribal and there is no neutral, colorblind position, if you are not helping your group, you're complicit in their unfair treatment at the hands of other groups. Okay.
And the kicker is, I'm almost certain it wasn't just black people that donated to Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain of it. Now, would I say it was a majority black people? Definitely. But was it every person? No. But when it comes to her, we can pretty much guarantee that it was mainly them. And for what reasons? Like, all you got to do, and I don't know if you're going to do it or not, or if you have any, but if you have any screenshots, pull up some of those comments that they left under her gifts and go.
Oh yeah, we're definitely
that was even crazier, but not surprising.
We're definitely gonna get to that. There was another post I saw of this guy. Okay, hold on. Let me almost accidentally followed him. Let me do it like this. It says 1 half for years. I don't know what that. If no,
I don't know if they were supposed to be making bullet points, but I'm gonna be. If this was their attempt at making bullet points, why did you put a slash instead of a period behind the 1? See, I told you I'm about to be that. I'm gonna be the grammar police on these people.
Torian, if you making bullet points, why do you only make one bullet? There's only one number.
Only one.
There's only one number. When you make bullet points, you at least gotta make a few for it to matter.
Right? He said one. He said points. 1 slash.
He said 1 for you. Okay, I don't know what he was thinking. Okay, y'all.
Oh
Lord.
My God.
Okay. It says whatever this was. I'm assuming part 1 or something. And you don't know how many times I read this looking for the 2, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, KG said it was a thread.
Yeah.
So it must be a very lengthy write-up. Okay.
Yeah.
My God.
It's still.
He got that blue check just to bore us to death. Y'all, we're gonna be here for a while just reading this one comment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to be as fast as possible. It says, for years the pattern has held. A white person, look at this. A white person makes a comment, sometimes crude, sometimes merely unfashionable. Okay, so calling a little child who's damn near a baby at 5, the N-word several times is unfashionable, according to him, according to Chad. It says a video is clipped, stripped out of context. Nothing was out of context, and cast into the digital
Coliseum.
Excuse me, sorry, I got a notification. Coliseum. The crowd demands penance. Doxing follows. Then comes the sponsors, the employers, the journalists. The result is always the same: apology, groveling, ruin. Okay, Lord, this is not justice. It never was. It is moral. It is a moral spectacle, a purification ritual of the postmodern West, where the cleansing agent is white submission. The apology is not meant to be accepted, but to affirm the guilt of the group. The goal is not reconciliation, but re-education, humiliation, silence. Oh Lord, this has come down.
Why does it?
White people.
Why does it sound like when he wrote all of that, the song that was playing in my head was "Ball of Confusion"? Like this whole post is right now, a ball of confusion.
Now, he's not going to be able to bring up one example of some white person saying something which he says not racist, just crude or merely unfashionable. Okay. Yeah, you see how they have to water it down to make themselves seem like the victims? It says, but this time with this case of what you say her name was? Shiloh Hendrix, the script cracked. Her personal details were posted online. She received death threats, allegedly. Her children were targeted. I haven't seen that. And yet, she did not capitulate. She did not appear on camera with quivering voices and downcast eyes. She launched a fundraiser, and white people responded. And white people responded. Lord, not the media, not the institutions. Not the
credential.
You said what?
The credential.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the cash apps. Shout out to the cash apps. I'm gonna get y'all in a second. Okay, not the credentialed. I'm gonna get to y'all in a second. Thank you. Not the credential class, but originally white people or ordinary white people. Tens of thousands poured in to support her. The platform Gifts and Go, not GoFundMe, which originally bans distress responders report, Lord have mercy, reports over 250,000 raised in a day. Okay, though Gibson GoFundMe also took down Carmelo's thing, so GoFundMe is very strict with what they do, not just Gibson Go. These were not donations. These are the steering of something new. Every dollar said, we see what you are doing. We see what, and it says, and we are done pretending. Lord, it's just the grammar's really something else. It says, this is more than a defense of one woman. It's a rejection of the moral framework that made her a target. Okay. The Hendrix affair is not first of its kind, but it is one of the first to end differently. No apology, no resignation, no collapse, but instead resilience. And that, more than anything else, signals a shift. Okay. The ritual is breaking, and with it, the spell of white guilt. So this is Austin Metcalf's father. Hold on. Here. They said son is killed, forgives killer, kicked out of killer's press conference, swatted. Okay, I haven't seen the video of him being swatted, but if he was, that's bad. He shouldn't be. Should he have been in the press conference? No, he wasn't supposed to be in the press conference. There's an ongoing investigation. Okay, and then look at her. So they're comparing Austin Metcalf's father to her. Okay. Son is robbed. Okay, the son, the son is not robbed. Right. Allegedly, the kid was looking through the diaper bag for a toy or something. Calls thieves the N-word. Notice how they're proud of her saying the N-word, but they're not even going to spell it out. The N-word collects 100. Now, at the point, this happened on the second, 150,000. Oh, I said 150, 100,000 Gifts and Go the next day. All right.
I got a question. Did the Metcalf family, did they get that much money in a day?
No.
And also, when you think about that, and this is how I know that they didn't care about him. because after a while, it didn't become about, oh, let's give money to support his family and help with burial arrangements and maybe any court fees that's going to happen when this goes to trial. It became a competition when they saw a lot of people donating for Carmelo Anthony in his defense fund and everything that he was going to need, and his family as well. Then it became a competition then. And when they felt like they lost that and they were crashing out about that, they said, oh, this fell right into our lap. This was a gold mine. And I want to point something else out as well. This woman is allegedly Ukrainian, because when we heard her talk, she definitely has an accent. I want people to understand something. When it comes to white supremacy, they don't care if they had an accent or not. All they needed to hear was this woman be anti-black, and that was enough for them. Kind of reminds you of the movie Sinners in the beginning when he went to that couple. He's Irish and they were white Americans, and they still let him in off of the basis of his whiteness. They didn't care that this man looked odd or that he could have been like some weirdo that could have taken them out once he got inside of the house. So that's all that they saw, and that was all that they needed. And they rushed out to defend her and donate to her because she was being on cold. When the dad got off cold and he said that this wasn't about race, even though they were trying to make it about that, and when it definitely wasn't, then that's when they started to pull back more from him and stopped donating because of him. So they're telling on themselves every single time.
That's true. That's very true. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Let me give a shout out to Antithesis for the Cash App and Latrivia for the Cash App. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. Appreciate you. Now, I want to show something else, right? And there's still much more we got to cover, y'all. There's still much more. Y'all got to stay. Y'all definitely have to stay. There's still much more we have to cover. This just showed right here, and how you just said, this is not about quote unquote justice. This is not about doing the right thing. This is about white power. Okay, because they felt like the second he's off code, he shouldn't deserve any more donations. And I want to send this message out to every black person. Okay, these people put their race before everything else. Don't let them confuse you with, oh, I'm a patriot, I put America before anything else, I put America. No, they don't. They will always, forever, this is their nature, this is what they have done. They will always put their race before anything and everything else. They don't care if you're a foreigner, they don't care if you're an immigrant, they don't care if you're a man or a woman, they don't care what religion you're a part of. The race comes before everything else. All of these other little side issues that they got going on, none of that stuff supersedes their racial unity. Okay, and let me show you. They're saying stuff like this. They're saying stuff just like this. They're all like, from Anglo-Saxon girl, Shiloh Hendrix has literally beat Carmelo Anthony's fund. This is what you call white unity. They're telling you that's why they're doing it. They're telling you exactly that's why they're doing it. I want to show you another one. This one comes up. It's official. We've won. Okay.
I'm too familiar. I'm way too familiar with that tweet.
With this, because you asked a very simple question that it seemed like they had a very difficult time answering. Let me show you that real fast. You asked, and what is it? Now, why don't you say it? Why don't you say it? I shouldn't have. What made you repost that and ask this question, Torian?
Well, I don't know. Like, I saw it, and like because the way the algorithm is now on Twitter, because like Elon messed it all up, that popped up on there. And I literally said, you know what, let me just go ahead and repost it. And I said, and this is what it was all about. What did you win? Just those simple, y'all, for those of y'all who are not on Twitter, this simple repost right here that you see on your screen got shared and viewed over 3.5 million times in 2 days.
Oh yeah. Let's look at it. Let's
Like,
look at it.
like it went super viral. Like I was not expecting it to get anywhere near that engagement. And the person that BIPOC doing racism, they actually saw the post later on and actually left a comment under the thread. And then it started a whole nother thing after they had replied.
I see exactly.
And by
These
the way,
are some of the comments.
that's the GoFundMe I think they created for the boy.
They should. And that's raised a lot of money so far now. We should definitely support that young brother. We definitely should. BIPOC doing racism. I mean, let me see where his comment is exactly.
You might have to scroll down some. I'm not exactly sure where his comment landed because it was hours after I had made the comment, after I had reposted it.
And here's something. Okay. Say it to my face and see what happens. LOL. And you see this woman covered with a lot of money and stuff. They honestly think that this is the reality that they're living. They honestly think that this is the situation. They genuinely believe that this right here is how black people are responding.
And none of us are. Like, I'm gonna ask the people in the chat, did any of y'all look like that picture on the left? Were any of y'all like mad and crying? Because I know I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. Afro, were you?
No, nor was I even surprised.
Like, they think this hurt our feelings. They think we listen, we did not crash out nowhere near the way they did compared to how Carmelo Anthony was like when he got the contributions he did. I mean, so much, in fact, like we just said, Jake Lang, that loser, went and decided in a matter of 2 days that he was going to put together something called Protect White America from Black Violence down there in Texas, where only about 10 people in support of that so-called rally showed up, and everybody else was counter protesters.
We know for a fact. I mean, they didn't. We're not bothered by it. We're not out here crying. We're expecting it. Now, here's the unfortunate part, and we're going to get to it. The unfortunate part about it is, yeah, she's going to have money now, but are they going to keep sending her and her child money for the rest of their life?
I doubt
Let's
it.
say she raises $1 million. Let's say, in what point does that prove?
Y'all just made this. Y'all just made a woman, this woman, a whole millionaire, and she didn't have to do nothing except feed your ego.
Now
she's laughing literally all the way to the bank.
Now, what's interesting about this is the fact that they were telling us that the only reason we supported Carmelo Anthony is because he's black. The only reason we supported Carmelo Anthony is because black people, as a collective, we have this hatred for white people, and we want all white people to perish. That's the only reason. And that we're funding him so he can live this lavish lifestyle, which turns out to not be the case in any way. Okay. And we're funding him because we have a degenerate culture, right? So it made me wonder. I wonder what people would say if, you know, the cases are reversed. What are people going to say about this Shiloh lady, who you can't make the argument that anybody who's funding her isn't racist? You can't make the argument that people are funding her out of anything except hatred of black people. So I wonder what they had to say. I just wonder what they have to say.
Oh, they had a lot to say.
No Swirl Zone says, why are we calling others the N-word nowadays? Who is, I don't know what that means.
I think I understand what they're saying, because there are some people, I typically think that they're like in a generation below us, like they're like Gen Z or something like that. I do hear them sometimes calling other groups that word. I don't know why they do it. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Yeah, too often these generations are a little bit too inclusive. Okay, culturally, and that's something that we're gonna have to like educate people on. So that's probably one of the reasons, if that's what you're saying. DBS, my brother DBS says, I don't know if that was for me or for you. Let me see.
It might have. I think it was for you, because I didn't see the link. The little link to it. So I
Oh,
think
he
that was
sent one for me, and then he sent one for you. So this
Oh,
one is for
I
you.
appreciate it.
It says, keep up the amazing work, Warrior Brother. I appreciate you. Thank you so
I
very
appreciate
much.
it.
I definitely will. And then the one for you, he's saying the same thing. Keep up the amazing work, my Warrior Brother. So okay, I can tell because there's a little indicator.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Okay, and then Dre sent you one. He says the source of every grifter's grift is the
degradation of Black people, especially
Torian
foundational Black Americans. That was the quote that I came up with. And like the thing is, I don't know what made me come up with that, but that's like, it's a very true statement. The foundation of every grifter's grift is the degradation of Black people, especially foundational Black Americans. If you look at how every grifter, and it doesn't matter who the grifter is, they all started off, their launch pad was always started off with going after Black people, especially us, before they got to wherever it is that they want to get to right now. And then when they get knocked down a peg, then they go right back to default settings. Candace Owens knows this all too well.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, yeah. She's not doing that well right now. Now,
because she recently posted up a picture with her husband and a newborn, and they going in just like they did the last time she did that. You would think she would have learned her lesson.
I'm going to show you this video, y'all. Now, you would think that there's no way to twist this to victim blame the little Black child. You would think that. You would think that as decent people. Of course, we would all think that. However, some people find a way to do it. Some people find a way to do it. Let's see exactly what the response was from the YouTuber named Officer Tatum. Let's hear what he had to say about it.
Oh God.
Let's see what he had to say.
I'm literally about to hang my head of shame.
Here we go. And if you guys know, I've been on Tatum's bumper like the last few weeks. The last few weeks, I've just been on his bumper.
I will see your few.
I just can't help it. Because he just keep doing it.
I will see your few weeks and raise you a few years.
Yeah.
He was one of my original Bed Bucking Hall of Shame entries. One of the originals. At this point, I had to stop doing the counter on him because he kept getting entered so much. He ended up getting the infinity symbol. That's how many times he got it entered in there.
Yeah, he deserves it. Now listen to this. Listen to what he has to say, y'all.
Pull Becky up here. Now let's talk about the microcosm here. The reason that this woman, and you'll see after I play the video, the reason that this woman, no, let me start with this because people gonna get mad at me for starting there. I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna go back there. First of all, it is absolute.
You said what?
I was saying, just get to your point, because it's like every time he starts something, he stops and goes back.
He does.
And he starts and then goes back. I'm like, get to your point.
Let me start. Yeah, he does that a lot. Like he doesn't know where to begin.
Abhorrent for an adult to call a kid a name anyway. I don't care what name you call a kid. You so silly that you gonna call a kid a name, a little bitty kid, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, maybe, and you grown calling a kid a name. I don't care what name you call him. You so upset you call a kid a derogatory name. You silly. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. Now, with that being said,
that was so
I want to pause it real quick, and say, notice how they keep trying to make the kid older.
Yes, and
to make it like less to. Not to, because it still would be wrong if the kid was 10 years old. You're a grown woman with a child calling a 10-year-old. But it's just, it takes away a little bit from the victimization part of it. So they're trying to adultify, and they do this with Black children all the time.
They did it with Tamir Rice.
They age the kid up. Go ahead.
They did it with Tamir Rice. He was only 12 years old, and they said I thought he was 18. And I'm looking at this kid's picture. I'm like, you got 18 from that? I mean, I know Black people age gracefully, but come on now, don't insult my intelligence. That's what they're trying to do here. They think, because he's too. So I even saw it was a post. I don't know if you saw it or not on Twitter, where someone tried to pull out a whole measuring thing of what they said the average 5-year-old height actually is and how tall this kid actually is. I'm like, some kids have a growth spurt early. It just is. That just means he's going to be tall. He's just tall for his age. He's going to have some height to him when he gets older. That's just what it means. It's called genetics. But you know what? I'm gonna keep my composure. I'm gonna
That's
keep my
true.
composure.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, depending on the parent size or whatever the case is. Now, what's interesting is Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter Metcalf. They're bigger than both their parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
I
I'm
didn't
saying?
see. I
Nobody's
didn't.
saying that, oh, he's not 17. He looks like he's at least 35 years old. Nobody's saying that with him. They don't do the adultification and they don't age up white kids. They tend to do that when it comes to black children. But let's continue. And also, no, I'm sounding like Tatum now. I don't know where to go. Also, I'm gonna say something. Y'all pay very close attention to how he's framing the situation before he really goes in.
And I do not support her calling this kid any name, especially not the name that you're gonna find out that she called him, a little black kid. And you know where this is going. But I do see, and I would never support this GoFundMe either. It's silly. But what I do,
I wanted to stop it right there. Notice that he keeps calling this silly. He keeps calling it silly.
He won't bring himself to call it what it actually is.
And
we know why he won't do it. That audience is going to tear him a new one in that comment section if he does.
Yeah. He said, oh, it's silly to call a kid a name. No, as an adult, if you're sitting up here calling a child, a black child, a racial slur, that's more than it just quote unquote being silly. Oh, that's a silly response. When he's doing that, he's watering it down. Okay. And he's belittling the situation. Oh, the adult had a silly response to it. No, this is not a silly response. This response can get you arrested.
Yeah, it's not like
you
she
are
called
an adult. This is not an appropriate response at all. And if this was a black man who was sitting up there accosting a little white child, allegedly over stolen toys or whatever, he wouldn't be saying, oh, this is silly. Oh, that's a silly thing. The GoFundMe is silly. He wouldn't be using the word silly.
Exactly. And the thing is, the fact that he has the screenshot like right there, you know, with the GoFundMe, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually saw the comments under there. I know he ain't gonna go over it, but I'm sure that he has seen it. Like he has gone to. Now he said he hasn't donated. Like, but the thing is, I'll take that with a grain of salt because even with stuff like that, you can donate anonymously. So who knows? But like someone said in the chat, he doesn't sound sincere, and I'll answer you. He's not being sincere. Like I said before, he's being very performative right now. Now he's always performative.
Now, another thing I want to add, right, is that when it came to Carmelo, right, he said that the only reason any black person was donating to Carmelo is out of hatred of white people. Is because black people have this underlying hatred and we want a race war against white people and we hate them all. And that's the only reason we donated. He's not going to hold them because clearly there's no other justification. There's no other reason for them to donate to this woman except for hatred of black people. But he's not going to say that. He's not going to call out the people donating to her. He's just going to call the whole thing, quote unquote, silly.
Yep.
Okay, clearly he's not keeping the same energy, but let's continue because it gets worse, believe it or not.
See, and that most people ain't gonna tell you is that white folks are sick of black people. Black people have cried wolf so many times that now they just sick of it. And therefore, a person like this that do what you see her do can raise this much money. It's almost.
You said pause it?
Yeah. What? Okay, this is something I was going to actually wait to say this until later on, but since like we're here, we might as well do it. To people like Fakem and all the others that are doing this thing where they're coming out and saying white people are sick of black people and quote unquote trying to be the shield and sword for white people, understand something right now. Your shelf life just got that much shorter because now they're seeing her as a beacon. So if this goes forward like this and continues to move forward, they're not going to need you to be that shield and stand-in anymore. What will they need the bootleg for anymore if they know that they can get away with this? They no longer need you to be the stand-in. They're now going, and I'll put it this way. To the bootleg out there, and if you're listening to the sound of my voice, hear what I'm about to say to you. If they can get back into the position of being very overt with their anti-blackness, you're done. Done. It's over for you. pack your stuff up and keep it moving. Don't come back over here, because we keeping a digital log of all of you and all of your and I'm gonna use Zizi's word, egregiousness. I don't know if that's a word or not, but I'm making it up for the sake of this live. You can't come back over here. That's why when people said Candace, I said Candace was never over here to begin with. When she first came out, she was already grifting. Same thing with him. The Hodge twins, that Jeffrey Mead character, Greg Foreman, all of them. Y'all are on borrowed time right now. If they get to a point where they don't need you, and if they can push this as far as they can, and they are pushing to the beyond the limit at this point, you will no longer be needed. And you will then become a nomad, because they're not going to let you stay over there. We're not going to let you come over here. So you're going to be stuck in you're going to be on an island all to your own, and have fun with that. Yeah.
There's no retirement plan for none of them. They don't see that yet, but that's the truth. There's no retirement plan for none of them. Okay. Because the thing is that, like you're saying, the more they feel, because they're not really, but the more they feel emboldened, the more they're going to feel like all of these black people that surround them, what do they need? What do we need y'all for? To say the thing that we could say by ourselves. And I would much prefer to hear it from a white person anyway. Exactly. That's how they're going to feel about it. And then the second you say something that goes against something that they want, it's over for you. It's absolutely over. You're not going to even be able to be a conservative moderate or anything. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be essentially you're going to be like damn near culturally homeless. Let's continue though. Let's continue. He's saying that he's pushing this narrative that black people have been victimizing white people for so many years, and white people have just been quiet about it. White people have been silent about it, and white people haven't been saying anything. And white people are finally fed up, and they reached their breaking point with being victimized by black people and putting up with this degenerate culture and all of that stuff by black people. So he's trying to push that narrative.
It's like an indictment. It's like y'all cry wolf every day, every time somebody say the word, and y'all call each other the word every day, and then y'all trying to get this woman fired or whatever they doing for her. And now look at they didn't raise money for her. All right, roll the clip.
Okay, we already saw the thing, so we don't need to. We can fast forward a little bit.
And listen how when he talks about black people, he doesn't include himself in there. Well, that's fine, Fakem, because first, like I said, you was never over here. So, like I said, when they slam the door in your face, don't come over here. Don't do what Candace did and quote unquote have your blackest week ever.
Yeah. Don't be all, it was just tough love. Remember when Candace tried to do that? Remember, she was going on a whole bunch of different podcasts and everything like that, especially around black folk. And she was like, oh, well, no, it's just tough love. It's just that I just wanted the best for the community. And I just wanted to say the things that people weren't allowed to say. Yeah. And that didn't work. That didn't take off at all. Black people was not buying that whatsoever.
The right to call the child 5-year-old N-word.
If that's what he's going to act
That's what you're going to call him.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
So keep it on the screen. So this is what I want to say about this. White people feel, I'm not saying every white person, y'all. Every time I say white people, black people, clearly, y'all, I'm not talking about every person. I'm giving a generic stance on it. I think white people feel like her.
He said generic. He means general.
He was getting ready to say general before he changed to generic.
This little kid is stealing. I'm sick of these kids that don't have good parenting and they stealing stuff and doing this and they acting like ends. And if I feel like they acting like ends, I should be able to say it. Just like if a black person feel like they acting like an end, he should be able to say it. And so all this virtue signaling around a word that black people just blow out of proportion, I'm over it. F off, put me on the internet. And that's what I think this woman had done. I do not.
Oh, so
think
you're
this-
so you're the white person whispering now. You know everything that they say because he's around them all the time. And he's married to a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine the conversations they have when he's not acting a fool in front of this camera.
I'm sure.
And also this Afro, have you ever noticed this? And I'll ask the chat this. Have you ever noticed that when it comes to these bootlicks, you've never seen their family? We never seen Fakem's family. We never seen Candace's family. We heard ABL talk about his grandmother, but never seen him. Foreman, the Hodge twins, the Cartier family. We don't know. Little tiny Terry, CJ Pearson. We still trying to figure out who his parents are, and we've been knowing about that little rugrat since he was 12, and now he's the oldest looking 22-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
We never know what any of their family look like, and you know what? Maybe for good reason. And I wouldn't be surprised if their family is embarrassed by them and doesn't acknowledge them at all. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was related to any of these individuals, I would not claim them. I would, if I was to see them in person, I would not even look at and acknowledge them while I'm going down the street. If I saw them drive and I wasn't driving and passing, I'm kicking up the accelerator. Shoot, it might even get to the point where if I'm at a damn red light, I will risk getting the ticket.
I would too. I couldn't see myself publicly claiming anybody from that side on my family. I damn sure wouldn't talk to him. I for damn sure wouldn't talk to him. And I just want to highlight again, notice the difference in the energy he has, because what he's trying to do right now is he's trying to give some type of rationale as to the white society. He's trying to give a rationale as to the mentality of white people. Like, white people are really just fed up with all of this and all of that and putting up with black people. Now, when it came to us donating to Carmelo, who, regardless of what you think happened, does have a legal case going on. He was, at the point in time when black people were donating to him, he was incarcerated. He was in prison, okay, pending bail. So we were raising money for his bail and then for his legal defense, right? Now, his whole thing is, oh, black people only raising money because black people hate white people. Oh my God, this is because black people hate all white people and there's nothing that white people can do right. And all of this white guilt needs to stop. Now, when white people do worse, because there is no reason to donate to this woman at all, with the exception of you just hate black people. When white people do worse, then it's, well, you got to understand, it's just really a response that eventually was going to happen. This was inevitable. White people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of all of you blacks. So he's rationalizing why this woman received close to or over $600,000 worth of donations in a matter of a week, less than a week.
And Fakem is the last person to talk about black people not using the word or stop using the word when a few years ago, and I think it was during the pandemic or before it, when he was on that panel and he went off on those individuals, and that man was saying the N-word like it was going out of style. And I'm sure those in the chat remembers exactly what video I'm talking about. He's the last one to say that.
Yep. Now we're gonna talk about the whole thing about N-word thing, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. Let's let him continue for a little bit.
Makes sense for somebody to call a kid any name, but the N-word has, to me, it has lost its luster. It has zero power. For some reason, if you want to be a victim, it now activates to having power. And that's why I would never feel sorry for, or there's no justification for a black person responding to the N-word no different than they respond to any other word. And it's even worse when black people get mad about the N-word. When I saw this and the lady called a kid an N, her calling him an N is irrelevant to me. What's relevant is that the fact that
he just said. Him said what? He said her calling him that word was irrelevant to him. There it is. All I'm saying is this. I'm like, Fakem, I don't know what you wake up in the morning and see every time you look in the mirror. I don't know. I can only imagine how he is raising his kids. But that wake up call is coming, one way
It
or
always
another.
does. Oh, it always does. And what's worse about this is, first off, we're not surprised by his response. It means nothing to him, because people like him, they view themselves as like almost not black. They believe to them, like, because it doesn't offend him, because he doesn't see himself as the rest. Okay. It's like a slave that sees himself as like a special slave to the master than the rest of the slaves. He's all like, well, yeah, I look black, but I'm not really one of you all. So of course it doesn't mean anything to him. Okay. It's lost its luster. Since when has it lost its luster?
And that's the other thing they keep saying. If another thing they like to use is black people say it, then everyone else has the right to say it as well. I don't know many black people going around saying it with the ER. And that's exactly what this woman did.
No. And I don't know many adults calling children that either.
Exactly. Again, like I said, he is, like many of them, are just excusing this woman's behavior, and they're not. And notice that they're not calling her ghetto. They're not calling her ratchet. This woman is walking around calling this kid that word while she has her child on her hip. Let's talk about, that's the part they keep negating, is that this woman has her child on her hip while doing this. And I think she has an older child as well. And a word on the street through the grapevine is that she's a single mother.
So that gives you the right to call.
Yep. Now, I'm just want to show you just so you can get an image. Okay.
Look at that. She's doing that with her child on her hip. But they don't even bring that up. And no. they love to say how black women are bad mothers and this, that, and the third. What is she then? I have not heard anybody question her parenting skills.
That's a really good point. The double standard of it. What happened to, black people needing to learn how to have emotional discipline and how to be able to conduct themselves in a society? Is this how an adult conducts herself at a playground? First off, is probably more than just her and this other kid at the playground. It's probably a whole bunch of other kids at the playground as well too. But she had literally, the fact that she has her baby in her arm or whatever, and she's doing this, what do you think the baby's gonna act like? How do you think his response to conflict is gonna be?
And if this,
but nobody's gonna say that, because that standard doesn't exist with them.
And the thing is, she let it fly too. Like, she didn't hesitate or anything like that or catch herself, which lets me know she's probably saying this at home. Like behind. Yeah. So however she's been feeling behind closed doors, she just let it rip right there in public.
That's true. Let's get back to Tatum.
Called a kid a name in the first place. The fact that she may have said something derogatory towards a kid in the first place is a problem. Now, I don't know where that kid parents at, because she doing all this and nobody came forward to claim this kid. I don't know.
Now notice he brought up her parent, but the kid's parents, but they're not talking about her being a parent and what she's doing with her child that she's holding. See, they negate all of that. They basically, they're just giving this woman a pass. Everything that they throw onto us can be said 10 times worse about them.
That's true. The whole single mother stereotype that they love to put black women on. They love to be all like, if a black woman has a child or whatever the case is, the child is born out of wedlock. That's an automatic truth. And she's a single mother. Now, this woman, I'm not sure if the children are out of wedlock or not, but she is a single mother with 2 children. And you can tell she's all tatted up and all of that, all of this stuff, all of the stereotypes, all of the emotional stereotype that they be so, if you guys would just have a more civilized demeanor about yourself. This woman wasn't acting civilized. She wasn't acting ladylike. She wasn't acting feminine. She wasn't doing any of that stuff that they claim that black people, black women in particular, don't do. Yet they're sitting up there calling this woman a hero, literally,
and brave.
And then you say nobody came for to claim the child. Actually, that's not true. Like, the kid was clearly not out there by himself. He's not a homeless child. No. Okay. But let's continue.
Down the road is babysitting the kid. I don't know what's actually happening here. But what I will say is that y'all can't get mad at that word no more, because every hip
And I know
He about to go into hip hop.
I know. You said what?
He about to say hip hop. Because I heard him say hip.
Oh, yeah, you already know they're gonna go there. But listen. Notice how he spends a small little in the very beginning saying, yeah, it's quote unquote silly to call a child a name. It's a silly thing to do, to call a child a name and to donate to this silly little gifts and go. And then he spends the rest of the video talking about how we shouldn't feel bad about somebody calling us the N-word. We shouldn't feel bad about a child being accosted by an adult being called racial slurs because we say the racial slurs. So notice how he spends a very small fraction of the time criticizing or giving some I wouldn't even call it really criticizing, giving some criticism to the racist white lady, and then the rest of the time wagging his finger at black people.
That is what most of them do, because that's their marching orders, is to wag their finger at us, like he's doing right here. Rob Smith is notorious normally for doing that. Whenever they do that, that's the role that the bootleg has, is they have to be the stand-in for, or the voice for what they want to say. And I don't know what benefit, if any, they reaping from it, but I guess, like I said, engagement, clicks, views, and some monetary whatever. But like I said, that's about to be done. That's about to be done up out here.
Yeah. Now look at what he brings up.
Down the road is babysitting the kid. I don't know what's actually happening here. But what I will say is that y'all can't get mad at that word no more, because every hip hop song they saying in. I put my life on it. Every single time that black people are talking, generally speaking, if you listen to them for 10 minutes, the N word is going to come up in that sentence.
You did it. You did it. He did it. He literally did it. Back in, what was it, 2019, 2020? He literally did. And he make it seem like we forgot about that. No, we still remember that. You can literally go online on the YouTube and type in Brandon Tatum saying nigga, and it'll pop right on up. Literally, this guy I don't know how many times he said it in the video, and now he wants to get on here and act like he's above the fray. No, you show us who you were a few years ago. That's who you are. This, what he's presenting right here, this is a costume. This is, and I just realized something. Is he wearing a Doge chain? Oh my God.
He is, yeah, he's wearing the chain that says Doge.
I didn't pick that up at first. He's wearing a whole Doge chain, y'all.
Okay, yeah. And first off, how many times we've gone live? I can't even tell you how many hours of conversation we've had, on the scenes, behind the scenes, all that stuff, at different events and all that. Do black people say the N-word every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes? Is every 10 minutes black person saying that we got to say the N-word? No, we don't.
No,
there's some
listen
black people a lot who don't say that word at all.
But look at what he's gauging it off of. He said hip hop. That's all he can go off of. This, because this guy's not invited to no cookouts. He probably can't remember the last time he saw a black man standing at the grill wearing them Jesus sandals on. He probably goes to the potluck, eating potato salad with raisins in them.
Probably. Hold on.
Are you trying to find that video?
Okay, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna let it play some more.
Okay.
Oh. It should be playing now. Hold on, let me see something.
In that conversation, they cuss each other out with the N-word. They cuss white people out with the N-word.
We don't cuss white people out with the N-word.
Right. He's just like, again, he's being that buffer, and he's trying to find an excuse for them to be able to say that word because we always say it.
Because they
Like I
dogs
said,
out with the N-word. They call each other the N-word. They call each other the N-word when it's your friend, when it's your enemy, when you go into prison, when you're falling in love. They just in. Let a white person, now Samoan people can say it, Mexican people can say it, Arabian people, anybody brown can say the N-word. Black people ain't hurt about that. They
see, this is where the delusion is kicking in, like, and now he's thinking he can speak for us and them simultaneously. Like this guy's literally jumping in and out of a glitch right now. It's like 1 minute he's speaking for them, now he's speaking for them, speaking to us. Now he feels like he's speaking for us, speaking to them. You don't. Let me just say this right now, Fakem. Little do you know, you don't speak for them, and what I know for sure and certain is that you don't speak for us. You think you do. You think you do, but you don't. Now it's funny that, and I'm shameless plug. Tomorrow I'm gonna be going live talking about because like I said, I was on vacation last week. The week before. I will be talking about Cody Balmer and Nikita Kasich. I bet you Fakem did not talk about either one of those individuals because at the time, all he could talk about was Carmelo Anthony.
And it would defeat his narrative if he did bring him up.
And it's crazy because it just happened. It just happened like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him if y'all watching on my page. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him so y'all can make sure y'all see that live stream. But he's bringing this up. Another thing is we have to put this in its proper context because saying the N word, and when we say that, first off, I don't let the whole, he was like, Arabs can bring it up. Anybody who got dark skin, Hispanics, all of that. You already know my position on that. They don't get a pass. They don't get the N-word pass. I'm not letting all these other quote unquote people of color get the N-word pass. All right. Now, even though when they do use it, they're using it with a different, and I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying for context, they're using it with a different meaning. Okay. They're using it in a different context. Okay. Because they're not, first off, they're not saying the ER, okay, nor is an adult saying that to a child. When they use it, which I'm not justifying, when they use it, they're using it in a context that they also see black people using it. Because when black people, when we call each other, an N-word or whatever the case is, when we say, nigga to each other, it's a different context because our relationship to each other is different from our relationship to other groups, which is why I don't allow these other groups to say it at all. But even still, when they say it, they don't use it in the context that this woman was using it. So he's trying to make it seem like them using it at all is, and it blows up and it's an outrage. No, the context in which she used it is way different from the context in which it's used even in a rap video. You know what I'm saying? Because in a rap video, they're not using it in a context of I'm a superior race than you. They're not using it in that context. So it's very important that we understand that.
And he knows that.
You can say it friendly or derogatory, but generally speaking, they get a pass. Let a white person rap to a song, and it's racism. Can't even rap the song. Can't even rap the song that you pay for. Can't even rap the song that you pay for from an audience that most people that look like you support. Y'all can go to the concert. Y'all can buy the tickets. Y'all can support with the merch. Y'all can go on tour. You can buy VIP tickets. You can make the person a platinum artist. You can do all that, but you better not sing his song publicly. Mexicans can do it. White, black can do it. You name it. But white folks, white folks who are the majority hip hop supporters, who give the most money to hip hop artists, the only reason hip hop artists are rich right now is because of white people all over the world. And y'all say they can't say the word.
Now, notice how far he had to reach. And I'm going to get to y'all super chats in a second. I appreciate y'all, family. Thank you very much. Notice how far he has to reach. Right now, he's talking about a subject that's completely different from the original topic.
Yep.
The topic is not at all about rap, is not at all about hip hop, is not even generally about who is allowed to say the N-word. But he has to reach and damn near make this topic about something completely different in order to victimize white people or allow white people to have this idea or this narrative of them being victimized. That's how far he has to reach with it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Because he can't pull. Because he can't.
We're not talking about that.
Because he can't pull. Because he can't pull an actual legit narrative just focusing on what he should be focusing on. He can't pull one there. So that's why he has to go to the hip hop thing. And the thing is, that is a tired discussion because they all do it. That's why I'm not surprised. That's why I'm not surprised he did that, because they all do the same exact thing. It's like they're all reading from the same script.
The thing is that, sorry, I'm getting a call. Hold on, my bad. The thing is that when we understand our history, we know for a fact they've been saying the word ever since we've been interacting with them. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've been calling us racial slurs and derogatory names and all of that stuff forever. And they like to blame hip hop. They like to say, well, you know, y'all know, y'all be saying it all the time. Of course, anybody. No, it's not hip hop. Okay, it's not hip hop at all, because whether we were listening to hip hop before hip hop was really mainstream, before the N-word was in hip hop and it was really mainstream, they were still saying it. In hip hop, here's how you know, in hip hop, they don't say it with the hard ER, but yet that's what you see this woman doing. You can't say she got that from hip hop, because I never heard no rapper saying the N-word with the hard ER like that. I don't hear rappers doing that. So you didn't get it from rap. They keep trying to say like, well, y'all say it. So low key, that kind of gives me a justification for saying it, even though us saying it is not going to determine whether they say it or not. They're going to say it anyway, like they've been saying it.
Exactly, because guess what? They were saying it before black people took it and threw the A on it and removed the ER.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Let's finish this video.
This is why that girl had a GoFundMe that was insane. A give, send, go, because she would have got banned on GoFundMe. What's the link to the comments? No, don't worry about it. It's totally fine. The guy had reported. I just want to clear this up. I picked that up too. He did. He said he mentioned something about the comments and said, "Oh, it's not important." Why isn't it important, Fake'em? You don't want to see what the people were saying in there, because they had a lot to say. I'm talking about from the screen names that they decided to create to the comments that they left. I mean, it looked like how under the post that we went over earlier on my page that went viral, it looked like Jim Crow under there. It looked like Jim Crow under there. Like, like I said, I'm sure you're gonna go over it and you'll see some of the comments that them people were saying.
Yep. Trying to pull this up now, actually. But yeah, see, notice that because the whole thing is that's super anti-black, and he's not gonna be able to find some way to rationalize that. He's not gonna be able to justify that. This whole narrative that white people are victims, he's not going to be able to do if he sees that comment. So he's all like, oh, well, you know, never mind that. That's interesting. He didn't win. Now, when it came to Carmelo and they were trying to point FBA as this hate group, they didn't mind reading, cherry picking through the comments, finding the needle in the haystack of the comments that were hateful. They didn't mind doing that. They spent all the whatever time they needed to find that. But when it comes to the comments that are blatantly racist on her side, oh, never mind. Oh, we don't even got to go through that. We don't get it, because he already knows what they're saying.
Looking at them comments was like being at a Klan meeting.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's let him finish though.
Reported that it was a 5-year-old. That wasn't a 5-year-old.
How do you know?
That kid looked a lot bigger than the 5-year-old.
How do you know?
I just wanted to clear it up because
he doesn't know. Oh, that's like bigger than a 5-year-old. Okay.
Right. How do you know?
All 5-year-olds are the same size, according to him. and they don't know how big the kid is.
Right, they're going. He was because the kid was not standing on solid ground. He was standing on like the top of like one of them slide things or like little play things. So how could you gauge how tall he was from being on an elevated level? Like we are not dealing with an intelligent group of people. Okay, we just not.
It's true. These people, lying is their first language. You think it's English, it's not. It's lying.
I don't think that kid was 5. But I will say that some of y'all need to make sure your kids acting right and quit raising these thugs to do stuff. Now, I don't know if that kid was a thug. I don't know if he did what she said he did. More than likely, he did do what she says he did. He did. That don't make him. They don't make him a thug. But y'all do need to raise your kids with some type of wherewithal and respect for authority and not have your kids stealing stuff. And they'll never be called an N-word by nobody.
That's the end of the clip. I just had to play. I had to play the rest of it. I had to play the rest. What you got?
I damn near forgot what I wanted to say because it's like that everything that he just said right there. Like you said, stop raising them thugs. So he's calling black children thugs, and they're gonna come back and say, I don't know if he was a thug or anything like that. Fake them. You better hope that they don't come check your kids. That's all I gotta say.
That's true. Like I was saying in the beginning, there is absolutely no proof we have besides her word. And then look at her character. Look at her word, what she says happened, and then look at her character. There's no proof that this kid was stealing anything. Okay, she just claims that the kid was going through and took a toy or took her son's toy or was looking through stuff. That's what she claims happened. Okay, so allegedly, let's say he was a child. Children take toys of other children all the time. That doesn't make them thugs. You wouldn't have called a white kid taking somebody's toy a thug. You wouldn't say that. It's not like this was some adult trying to take somebody's money out their wallet. What she claims happened is a child tried to take another child's toy. That's what she claimed happened, which of course we're not condoning, but allegedly to her is what happened. That doesn't make a child a thug. It's unfortunate, but it's children we're dealing with here.
But also understand this. Fakem is also the same guy that, if y'all remember the story that happened late last year, I think it was like in December, and I think the video had went out there in January, where that white woman came to that guy's house with her kids late at night on his porch and everything. He remember the guy that was pulling to his in his driveway, and she started running down the side of the house screaming help and everything like that. And people was like, what is she doing there and everything like that. He was the only person I saw that gave that woman and her husband a platform, because he was the only one who probably saw that video out of the millions of people that saw it, that believed that she was innocent. This dude goes out of his way to defend white people, even if they are dead wrong on anything they did. This is the same guy that defended what was going on down there in Uvalde, and his audience cooked him about that. He defended what those officers did to what's the brother name down there in Tennessee, the one that got beat to death by those cops, the ones that's on trial. I think they're on trial now. He defended that. He goes out of his way to defend straight up degenerates while trying to claim that black people are degenerate.
Yeah.
This is also the same guy who they recently, and I talked about this, they had some kind of TPUSA event, and I think some people came and stole took their tent and their stuff like that, and he shoved this woman off of her bike.
Damn. Okay.
But he wants to talk about we violent.
That's true.
Tyree Nichols. Thanks, Mr. Nisi. Tyree Nichols. That's who it was.
Tyree Nichols. R.I.P. to Tyree Nichols. Let me get to some of the super chats. DSB says, where is his family from? I'm picking up Tether vibes. He says that again on my channel and your channel. I don't know where his family's from. I'm gonna be honest.
He might be a
I've
test
looked
tube baby.
into it. I'm not sure. I mean, everybody's not a tether. That's just unfortunately the truth. Everybody who's anti-black ain't a tether, so we don't know. We don't know. And here's, I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying until we find out where he is, it's important for me to have the integrity to say that I don't know. You know, unless you know something I don't know.
I like I said, like I slipped in there. I don't know if you caught it, but I said he might be a test tube baby. I don't know. He might have been created. He might have been created in a lab.
That's true. The thing is that tethers don't really hide the fact that they're tethers for that long. Mm-hmm. We do pretty good work to find them out. You know what I'm saying? So he's been out this for a minute now. He's at least had YouTube for what, like how long? How long has he been on YouTube?
A while now. I don't know how many years, but a while now.
Yeah, he's been on that for a while now. So if he was, I'm pretty sure something about it would have came out. I don't know, but it could be. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. This is for you, Torian.
Okay, what's going on with Cosmo?
It says always. Go ahead.
He said always, but with Tatum, yeah. Like I said, and what I always say is, whenever someone says "but," BS is soon to follow, and that's all he spews out is BS. He said he jumps the gun, but won't own up to it. He'll say that black man or kid was up to something, and he says MAGA covers 304s even. And it's funny too because he did the same thing that white guy that got ran over in Vegas on his I think he was riding his bike. He was quick to jump onto that. Now, mind you, the people that was there, it was a black kid and a South of the Borderian. The South of the Borderian was the one that was driving the car and hit that man. The black kid was in the passenger seat, but the only reason he jumped on that was because he saw that it was a black kid involved, and he even went on there and tried to say it was like two black kids. I was like, no, one of them was Hispanic Latino South of the Borderian. And he was the one driving the car. You just couldn't wait to jump the gun and actually to say something because it was a black person there. He does that all the time. And he wasn't even at home. He was like, he had to record this off. I don't know if it was his laptop or his phone or something like that, but he wasn't in his studio when he recorded this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's something. Let me get to some of the other super chats. This one is also for you, Torian.
He said blessings. So shout out to Jacoby. He says blessings, Torian and Afro Elite, Black Alpha Network, and all the grassroots FBA. What do you guys think about making a Black Bible with all the scholars references in it for younger generation, including Motorist Green Book? That wouldn't be a bad idea. That would definitely have to be a collaboration effort for sure, though.
Yeah, it definitely would. We definitely have to. We definitely
because one thing I'm very proud of myself was doing that Sundown series, even though it took 2.5 years to complete. But I was glad that I was able to do that.
Yeah, and that was very necessary. All of your series are pretty good. That the Black Massacre series, all of that. DBS also he showed his membership.
He gifted 5 members. Shout out to DSB.
All right, the fundraiser. This is for you also, Torian.
Shout out to the fundraiser. He says she has a record for fighting in DWI too. I'm telling you, it's gonna be some stuff that's gonna come out about this woman, and they're gonna have egg on their face. Because then they're gonna realize who they supported. But then again, for them, it doesn't matter. It's the principle of the fact of what she did, and that's all that matters to them. But I said the hypocrisy is real. We are going to use this against them at a later date.
Yeah, I'm so glad, and I'm getting through the super chats because I want to acknowledge you guys' support. But I'm gonna still talk about it a little bit later. This is also for you, Torian.
All right, shout out to DSB again for the 10. He said if this was 1806, the boot liquoring lice eating garbage would be a house ninja. I'm guessing, is he talking about Fakem? I'm assuming that's.
I'm assuming he is. Yep.
Because that's the only one we've addressed so far.
The next few are for you, Torian.
All right, again, shout out to the fundraiser again. He said Officer Tantrum. And let me just say, I would never call this man officer because he is no longer
I don't call him officer.
I'm still trying to the biggest mystery for me is what did you get let go for as far as why are you not a cop anymore? I'm telling you, if some stuff come out about him, I'm gonna be on it But he says he said you think you nigga. Oh, he's quoting him in that video that I was telling you about when he was saying that word so many times. That when he said right there.
I need to find. I've been kind of looking for it on the low, but I can't find it. I don't know where that video is.
It's out there. Trust me, it's out there.
I gotta find it. This is also for you, Torian.
All right, shout out to DSB again. He says, I hope they got good dental plans. Don't use the N-word to the wrong one. Right. Because like I kept telling you, one size don't fit all. Not everybody's going to be receptive to what they say. So they better be very careful what they put out there and who they say it to.
This is yours.
All right, shout out to RC Creation Muse for the $4.99. He said everything white people use the N-word, they're only memorializing their own American history, which is full of carnage. Can't argue without race. I'm guessing that's supposed to be racism, right? Now you understand why I've said they are their clancestors. This right here, what you're seeing right here, happen with this one thing right here, is showing you full on display, and they're still carrying on Twitter right now. 4 or 5 days later, they're still going on about it.
Yep, that's true. That's true. This is mine right here from my sister Queen Nora. She says, quote, the N-word has no definition, so we should not get upset by it. Neely Fuller Jr. We are going to read his book and get a real code, or what he says. Are we going to read his book and get on code, or what? B1. That's true. And shout out to you for that. That's why when she did that, now she did it to a child, but it's not like I'm all like, oh my God, the N-word. We're not tripping about the N-word, not the way that they think we are. They think we're out here balled up, crying with snotty tissue all over the place. We not really like tripping on that. Now, what we're saying is that she shouldn't be allowed to victimize, because what she did was victimized a child racially. She shouldn't be allowed to do that. But as far as a white person, we see Karen videos all the time. We see that all the time. Them called it. We get called that. Okay.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times that word was used towards me in the last couple of days just because of that response.
I'm sure. I can already imagine, especially with it going so viral. I'm very sure. Shout out to Queen Nora for that. This is for you, Torian.
All right, shout out to again the fundraiser for the 5. He said, yes, send him to Mars.
I see.
He said, listen, his goofy self probably don't even know how to locate Mars if he pointed it out on the solar system.
No, probably not. But he's trying to get to space. Allegedly. Okay. Alonzo Dunn, this is for me. He says, Tatum may not be a tether, but he is definitely grim-mongering around in your trash at night. Yeah, he is.
I get it.
Yeah, he is.
I get it.
He might not be, but he is the lowest of the low. He is definitely he's pathetic. Ultimate, like for real. He honestly is. He should, like, to call it a low man, for him to sit up there and justify a child, whether the child is 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old, a child being victimized racially shows what type of character he has. I wonder what he would say if, and I'm not wishing this to be true, I hope that this never becomes the truth, but I just wonder what type of character he would have if some racist tries to do that to his child, who would be half black. His child would be half black. His child's not white, no matter what he wants his child to be. His child, his biological offspring, will never be white. I will wonder if that woman said the same thing to his child, what his response is going to be. And to be honest,
he would probably just say, just say dust it off. I mean, it's just a word. Look at this rapper right here that said it. Like the same, but the thing is, he would be a hypocrite if he did a reversal, because like you're telling your audience one thing, but you're telling your child something completely different.
Okay.
Oh, KG said he sent that.
Kid Gravity says he got the video for Kid. Let me see. Can you like DM me on Twitter or something like that, or how can you send that to me, or tag me in it or something so I can see it? Let me see. If you could do that real quick, I'd appreciate it. Because I cannot find that video.
I'm about to send it to you now. You said you never seen it before? You said you never seen it before?
No, I haven't seen it. This is my first time here.
Oh, wait till you see it. I just DM'd it to you.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
And you can see
we're gonna get to the rest of the super chats in just a second, y'all. Let me just pull this video up real quick.
And you will see what I say. He has the nerve to open his mouth and say what he said. Like that video ain't floating around on the internet.
Hold on, where is it? I don't know why it's not coming up. Hold on.
If it doesn't come, I can pull it up on mine if it doesn't come up on yours.
Okay, yeah, if you can do yeah, it's not coming up on mine.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Let me
you gotta take this down. Okay, as you're doing that, I'm gonna continue with the streams. Shout out to Queen Nora again, says we gotta get on code, fam. Still learning. Nilly Fuller Jr. Yeah, we are. We locked in. And I think that this is important talking about being on code. This also lets us know that we can't just leave our children out there because you just don't know what's going to happen. You might think that, okay, my kid is at the park. I can go, you know, even if you're in a quote unquote nice neighborhood, okay? Because I doubt that they were probably in the quote unquote hood, but even if they're in a nice neighborhood, you just don't know. So I think with this video highlights the fact that we have to collectively look after children. We have to look after our children because we tend to think that, okay, if the kid is in a nice neighborhood, then they need less supervision because the danger is lower. The danger is just different, okay? That's what we need to understand. It's a different type of danger, and we need to be aware of all of it. So we need to make sure we protect our children with that. Torian, you got it? Okay, you got it? Okay, all right.
Here's the thing.
Right.
I gotta go.
And that's him right down there at the bottom middle.
Talking point of Biden and Hillary Clinton, you know, created the, you know, I'm gone, man. Bill. They created the crime bill. Fakest nigga I ever seen in my life. They created the crime bill. I see you in person. They created the crime bill. They created what you said. They created. I'm done, bro. You a fake nigga. I appreciate it. Fake, bro. I'm gonna expose you to everybody. When I see you, nigga, we gonna be. It's gonna be on. I want you to know that. Because you call me on the phone and you saying all this, and then you get on the live stream and you playing this shit. You should be ashamed of yourself. Is that black on black crime? Is that black on black crime? You's a bitch. I told you. Everybody on your live stream knows you's a bitch. And when I see you, I'm whooping your ass. Everybody got your live. I like it. You want to be hood, nigga? You want to be hood? You on the phone talking shit to me, and you call me? You saying you apologize? Yeah, nigga. I never apologize. You apologize? I never apologize. My wife listened to you, nigga. I never apologized. What I said was, bitch, nigga. That's what I said. Yes, sir. Let's wrap this up.
And that's when he left.
Damn. Okay, I'd never seen that video before. I didn't even know that video existed. I've never seen that. That is crazy.
Yes. Yep. That was back, I think, KG, if you're still in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say that was either during the pandemic or slightly before it. I want to say it was a few years ago. It definitely was, because you can look at him and tell, like, you know, he looks younger in that video. But it happened, like, I think it was during the pandemic, like when we were still like in quarantine and stuff like that. So
he said it was 2019.
Yeah. Okay, so it was right before. Yep, right before.
Damn. Okay.
Yep.
And all of this
and stuff. Exactly. And I say, listen to how he sounds right there. I said, that's the real him right there. All that stuff that he's putting out there for his audience, that's the facade. What you saw in that video of him crashing out the way that he did, that is the real fake him. That is him. Not this image he's trying to portray to his audience like he's above it all. He's not.
Yeah. Notice too that he would talk to a black person like that. He's not going to talk to no white person like that.
Oh no. And I don't even think that's like that. See, he probably tries to pretend like that video doesn't exist. I'm like, no, it's out there and can be easily found.
Okay. Let me see. Because KG actually just DM'd me. He DM'd me the actual video, so I might have to circle back on it. But I want to get to some of these super chats because y'all been really gracious with the super chats. Let me see. Our sister Nisi sends a super chat for me, and then she sends one for you.
Appreciate
So
you,
shout out to her.
Hurricane Nisi.
Hurricane, he sends a super sticker. Thank you very much, DSB. This is for you, Torian.
Shout out to William for the 12. He says Trader Tatum.
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, Trader is one of many words to describe him.
Yeah, trade definitely. This is you got a super sticker from
Shout out
Black
to Black
Spider. Then
Spider.
this is for you.
Shout out to the Freedmen's Network for the 1999. Says peace Afro, peace Torian. He says the thing with these bootlicks is there's an audience for them, for the clears to take refuge. Vince Ellison, April Chapman, Jesse Lee Peterson, they get money and it's a hustle. Oh yeah, we all know it's a hustle. As a matter of fact, Dom Lucre is finding out today, as a matter of fact, that the hustle can be cut off if you're not careful.
That's
I
true.
definitely got a triple P coming his way. So be on the lookout for that.
This is for you as well.
Shout out to Carlette. She says, so if you support white supremacy, you reward this woman saying she's just like us who despises Black Americans. Yeah. And like I said, this woman is allegedly Ukrainian. She's not American, because if you listen to the video, she has an accent. The boy allegedly is Somalian. So understand this. To those out who are non-FBA who don't understand what white supremacy is, if this was your introduction to it, there you go. And to those out there who are like think that white supremacy is only just within the confines of the U.S., understand that it's a global thing, because this woman is not American.
Yep.
And they didn't care that she wasn't a white American woman. She fit the aesthetic. This is a white American. This is a white woman with blonde hair. She said the N-word. They knew she had an accent and they didn't care. But as long as she said it, and it was to a Black person, and it didn't matter how old this person was, it didn't matter their religious background, it didn't matter their gender or their age or anything else, any other label. They just saw a Black face, and that was all they needed. So for many people, this event right here covered many grounds in one fell swoop.
That's true. That's true. Let me get to the other super chat, because there's something else very important I want to play for you guys after this.
Our shout out to William. He says, we are going to get on code. He says Trump is going to ensure it. Then the magic happens. I appreciate you, William.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, this one's mine. It says, oh yeah. It says, oh yes, I forgot about Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock is another one.
He's very
Hurricane says, never, all caps, never let your guard down around them. No, we never should, especially when our kids are involved. If our kids are there, ever. Alonzo says Tatum's in-laws use the N-word more than anyone. I can guarantee.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I have a feeling that Fakem has. I have a feeling that Fakem has no problem going into a sundown town just because his wife said that they should go to one.
Oh yeah, that's probably where her family's from. Charlotte says, "This is for you, Torian."
She said, "Yes. Where was the Black kids? Mama, she said she is lucky I was not there. I don't tolerate crimes against our Black kids. I appreciate you." Yeah. And again, that's that mama bear energy. Like you going and it's a natural thing. Like, you know, a woman, that motherly nurture. Even if a woman, notice that, like, especially with a lot of Black women, even if they don't have kids, that motherly instinct is just something that's just naturally in them. It's just there because they were probably, you know, they were raised, you know, with their mothers or their aunts, grandmothers. So they saw what that was like. And even if, like I said, even if they don't have kids, they might have nieces and nephews who they're like mothers too. And it's just like that natural motherly instinct to just step in if they see something like this. And then look at the surroundings. If you notice that it wasn't that many people there at the park. It looked like it was just her kid, the kid she said the N-word to, the person recording. I looking around because the camera was kind of moving. I didn't really see that many other people. I'm attributing to it maybe because it wasn't a clear day. It looked like it was an overcast.
Yeah, it looked like a rainy kind of.
Yeah, so a lot of people aren't going to be at the park that day. If it was a sunny day, it would have been a lot more people out there with their kids. So a lot more people would have saw it.
I want to say something. Speaking of Mama Bear energy, I want to let let them know something. If they think that this is going to be a trend where you get to victimize black children and become famous, rich and famous for it, I want you to look at this. This case came out recently. Hold on, I pressed the wrong button. This case came out recently, and I'm letting y'all know right now, black parents ain't going. This is not what y'all think it is. I'm letting y'all know that right now, this is absolutely not what you guys think it is.
I'm definitely be talking about this at a later.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull this up. If you guys don't know about this, I have to pull this up, letting y'all know. And these black parents, y'all thinking something sweet, y'all thinking that y'all gonna get y'all lick back. Y'all better okay. Let me play it. Let me just play it.
Next tonight, authorities in Ohio say the man who allegedly rammed his car into a sheriff's deputy, killing him, did so intentionally. The suspect appearing in court today is the father of an 18-year-old killed in an officer-involved shooting on Thursday. The suspect charged with aggravated murder. Here's ABC's Christian Cordero.
Tonight, authorities say the shooting of an 18-year-old captured on police body cam is connected to the death of an Ohio deputy after that teen's father allegedly hit him with a car a day later. Prosecutors say the attack was calculated and premeditated. Cincinnati PD responding to reports of a stolen Kia at an apartment building Thursday morning. 4 suspects then fleeing police. Among them, 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. Body camera shows Hinton fall as he tries to run away. Police say they heard a metal clinking sound they believe was a gun.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun on your right! He's got a gun!
As Hinton emerges from behind a dumpster, authorities say another officer firing 4 or 5 shots.
The officer says that he saw the suspect point the firearm at him.
Yes. Just 6 seconds passed between when police arrived and gunshots rang out. Officials say they tried administering medical aid. Hinton was struck twice and died. Investigators saying this gun was recovered from the scene allegedly found in Hinton's possession. On Friday, a day after that shooting and 2 hours after the Hinton family reviewed the body camera footage, according to the family's lawyer, a driver crashing a car into a Hamilton County deputy directing traffic near a commencement ceremony, killing him. The suspect, authorities say, is Ryan Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Hinton's attorney calling the officer's death a horrific tragedy. At his first court appearance today, Hinton walked through a room packed with law enforcement. He's now charged with aggravated murder. The Hamilton County Sheriff says the deputy's death was a tremendous loss. Hinton Jr. is currently being held on no bail. His bond hearing scheduled for Tuesday.
Christian Cordero, thank you.
Well, all I'm gonna say is that if y'all thinking that y'all gonna get rich, if y'all thinking that victimizing black children is a get rich quick scheme, it's not. I'm promising you that right now.
And
I'm promising you that right now. It's not. I promise you.
And this happened, and that happened the day after. He didn't wait. This happened the day after. And now, mind you, the cop that he hit was not the cop that did it, but he said he was like, you know what? I'm so enraged right now because of what happened. I'm not going to wait for them to say that my son did what they allege that he did. I'm just going to go and exact my revenge right now. And at this point, any cop would have did. And that's exactly, he saw a person in a cop uniform and he said, that one. Like I said, it wasn't the person that did it, but he said any cop will do. And that was the person that he hit. Now, I want also people to all see that when he walked into that courtroom, they had the whole sheriff's department up in there, like an intimidation thing. Now, it's another video where it shows the whole thing. He held his head up high, like he didn't have his head down, like in shame. He held it up like this, like I'm talking about chin, nose up to the ceiling, looking like, yeah, I did it. And which he's like, y'all gonna stand there and think y'all gonna intimidate me? No, you already took my son away from me. I took one of yours. What else can you do to me but send me to jail? He's probably saying, please send me to jail right now. Like he says, I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, he don't feel remorse. He's probably not gonna
that father, he doesn't even feel defeated. He has no fear in his heart. That I said that was an intimidation tactic to have all of them there, because why were they all there? They had no reason to have
you
that
don't see
whole
that stuff
department. You
normally.
never
Yeah,
see
you're
that.
right.
They had the whole department there like he was supposed to be scared. Like, you're talking about a guy who just lost his son, and he took his car and strategically ran a cop over to get revenge. He is not scared of y'all, no matter how many of y'all it is.
And the thing is, he knew he wasn't going to get away with it.
Yeah,
it's not like he tried to go on, or I don't think so. They didn't say he tried to go on the run. He didn't try to flee. He knew, like, hey, if I take one of them out, that's just gonna be the end for me too. But he was willing to make that sacrifice. He was willing to sacrifice because they took his son, and he was all like, at this point, I might as well crash all the way out.
And you can literally, because you can tell because when they showed the footage of the car, his car was banged up. It looked like a crushed soda can. So this guy was determined. So that means he hit this cop and he ran into something else. In the process.
Yeah. He saw it and he slammed on the brakes, the gas. He slammed on the gas going for it. And I'm like, hey, listen, this is what happens when you guys allow centuries, because it's really been centuries of law enforcement being the judge, jury, and executioner of black people and black children. Okay. The whole, I thought he had a gun. I heard a gun. I looked at something that looked like it could have been a gun, maybe. And then they get away with it, or they get a slap on the wrist. They get probation, or even if they get fired and they get transferred to another thing. They messed up with the Tamir Rice situation. They messed up with that. The cop feared for they messed up with that. I want them to understand, or they're going to understand whether I want them to or not, that y'all not going to just be able to get away with that to the end of time. They thinking that they're going to be able to get away with that to the end of time, and they learning the hard way that they're not going to be able to get away with that to the end of time. This era of black parents ain't going. No, don't nobody play about their kids, man.
Exactly. And the thing is, you got to think, he's probably seen this happen so many times. And the thing is, a lot of times, and I'm not saying that every parent is like this, but no one expects this to happen to their child. Like, like he's clearly, I don't know how old he is. He looks pretty young. But he said his son was 18. So his son lived through seeing Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Renisha McBride, a whole bunch of other youthful kids or minors who have lost their lives to law enforcement. And then on that day, you lose your son in that same manner at only the age of 18. And like that would eat away with you. Like, I'm telling you, when they said that he went and the wheels were in motion 2 hours after he saw the body cam footage. That's all he needed. When he saw that body cam footage, his mental was to go straight to revenge mode. He did not wait. Mind you, like I said, he didn't know what cop did it. He didn't, because they weren't going to release the name. He doesn't know what cop did it. He just knew what department they worked for. He said, well, you know what? I may not find the person who did it, and that's fine. But I'm going to find somebody. He said somebody's going to pay for this. And unfortunately, for that cop that was just working a commencement ceremony, who was most likely not even there and had nothing to do with it, was the sacrifice.
Yeah, that's
so now 2 families have lost something. He lost his son, and whoever the loved ones of that cop that was working at commencement lost their loved one. So now it's like it's definitely more of a cycle. But like I said, he walked in there with his head held high, even though they tried to intimidate him, and it didn't work, because he's like, you took something that someone that he helped bring into this world for 18 years, and his life got cut short because of an assumption. So now y'all can all come here to see me and try to intimidate me, but guess what? In his mind, he's like, I have the mental power over you, because if I didn't, all of you wouldn't be here today just to watch me get charged or whatever the case may be. So I brought all this attention onto me. So he's basically saying, I'm holding the spotlight. I'm the center of attention. And now I get to live rent free in your head. So that's why I said he wasn't hurt by it. He was like, okay.
Yep. And I want to just add this. The cop who did shoot that boy, he still needs to be locked up for it. It shouldn't be. He shouldn't get no pass. It shouldn't be no walking for him. He still needs to be held accountable just as much. So I don't think that this situation should lower his jail time or anything like that. I'm saying this is that we've seen situations. If you saw in the video, you saw the kid was running away. The kid didn't have anything in his hand, and the officer shot damn near on sight. Okay, you shoot kids.
And mind you, this happened in Ohio. And mind you, again, and we brought up Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice, that was in Cleveland, Ohio. This was Cincinnati, Ohio. So we're still in Ohio. And also remember John Crawford. He was the one that was killed inside the store. That happened in Cleveland, Ohio, not too long. And then I think his happened in August of that year. And then Tamir Rice was killed in the same city, same state in November of that year. And now here you have this kid, 18 years old, killed in Cincinnati. They said 4 shots to his body. 4.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. It's sad. It's sad. It is. I'm gonna say, and I know you're gonna talk about it. I know you're gonna do a thing, but karma. And I'm trying to be very careful because this is what is this channel doesn't promote violence. But listen, a lot of people are sitting up there saying online like, "Oh, that wasn't the right officer. That was the wrong officer." That's unfortunate. It is. It's unfortunate. But what have we seen? We have seen officers when a situation like this happened. We see all of the officers involved get on cold. And the only time you see anything otherwise is when a video has been leaked to the internet and everybody's seen it and everybody's made a big deal. But prior to that, all of the officers, they go along with falsifying police reports. They go along with saying, well, I saw a gun too. He was right. I did see a gun. He was pointing a gun. They all get on code with each other. They're all one and the same. And we've seen that with cases, several cases. Okay, and the only times we see anything other than that is when the case goes viral on social media, and then the other officers kind of back up a little bit, but they all work together. They're all like a family together,
like a network.
Yeah. So if this is the way of letting it be known, this was his way of sending a message. This was his way of sending a message that black blood is not cheap. This was his way of saying that, hey, this is not going to be a thing where y'all get to victimize our kids and we got to sit up there and wait for y'all system who doesn't bring justice to us. If there's not going to be any justice through the justice system, then we're going to have to create our own justice. This is what he's saying. So yeah, like I'm saying, like, if y'all thinking
and really I haven't really seen the usual suspects really talking about this. And like I said, this just happened because they're too focused on Shiloh Hendrix and giving her money. I'm like, y'all missed one. Well, and the thing is, I think they probably know why that's not. I mean, I can already see the narrative work out and play out if they did get a hold of this story. Not saying none of them don't have it, but many of them do not know that this just happened. But I mean, hey, like I said, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, if y'all thinking that this woman is y'all hero, if y'all thinking that y'all gonna be able to freely repeat what this woman did, and I'm not gonna wish harm on anybody. Let me be very careful with my words, but I'm letting you guys know that this is not what y'all want. This is not what y'all want at all. And you know what? I think it would be very funny, Torian. What I think the family should do, the family of the kid, the little 5-year-old boy, they should sue her. They should sue her for emotional distress. If I was that person's father, I'd be all like, my kid hasn't been able to sleep. He hasn't been able to eat. You called him the N-word. He
can't go outside
the house. Oh, I would go. I would take that to the max, full blown. Take that to the max. Oh, my kid needs. How much money did you raise? My kid needs $600,000. I just the whole fam. I would say the whole family. Oh, it was embarrassing to the whole family.
Definitely.
Oh my God, we can't sleep. We need new beds. We need a new house. Really, we need new everything. Oh yeah, we need all of that. I think let her raise all of that money. You know what would be so ironic and such poetic justice if she raised all that money and then the family just came back like, oh yeah, we're gonna need all that. Yeah, you're the one who called my child the N-word. So
I'm
yeah,
just like I said, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And like for some stuff to come out, because like I said, this is far from over. They think they've won. That's the thing. They really think that they've won something with this when they really haven't. But they can have that little moment right now. They feel like that they're taking a victory lap. They haven't even left the starting line yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Because honestly, what they were saying was they were trying to say, oh, we raised more money than Carmelo Anthony, for his gifts and go and whatnot. But people had to come back and say, because they love to use the per capita thing. Well, black people use the per capita thing on them and says, well, per capita, we actually raised the money for Carmelo Anthony faster than she did, than y'all did for her. So they used black people used, because they love using per capita. Black people threw the per capita card back on them by saying, no, actually we raised more money for him faster than y'all did for her. Because y'all weren't expecting him to reach that goal, and they kept moving it up and up and up. And the crazy part about it is every goal that they moved it up, he hit. This woman started out at like 100,000, reached it. Then it moved up to like 150. Then she reached that. Then it went up to like 200, then 250, and so on and so forth. Then after a while, it took a leap from like, let's say 300 something thousand to $1 million. Like, why in the world would you move from that low of a number to that astronomical gap from 300 something thousand to $1 million? And the thing is, they're still donating because now it's like, last I checked, over 600,000. But I honestly don't think she's going to hit that $1 million mark though.
Yeah, the steam is dying down. It's kind of dying down now. I've noticed that. Because that is a lot of money, especially because they really don't have nothing to base it off of, besides just calling a child the N-word.
And I thought they were, and they
so
say
none of these big channels are going to want to really risk their reputation by condoning that. Most of them don't want to risk their reputation. So as you're seeing, besides Tatum, most of them are not really trying to dive in and save her like that. So she might not reach that goal. And
the thing is, they keep trying to say America is broke. I wouldn't know. Not looking at that.
Yep, that's true. Let me shout out to the Cash Apps real quick. Okay. Let me see. This is for you, Torian.
Shout out to Scooby, says my grandmother would have grabbed her in the jugular. Somehow, well, first of all, shout out to you, Scoop. Somehow I believe that. Because I've heard you talk. So somehow I believe that.
This is also for you.
Shout out to the fundraiser. He said, let's start a GoFundMe for him and his family. I think he's talking about Rodney Hinton Jr.
Yeah, I don't know if they already have one, but yeah. Well, definitely you need a Gifts and Go. You couldn't do a GoFundMe.
Yeah. He couldn't do a GoFundMe. They would shut that down. Gifts and Go would probably be the best way to do it. Oh, that was for me too?
Yeah, this is for you.
Shout out to Carlet. She says, well, that brother set a precedent. He says, you take one of mine, I take one of yours. That's pretty much what it is. And the thing is, like he said, for him, it didn't matter what cop it was. The fact of the matter is that it was a cop. So while it may not have been the cop that actually took out his son, it was a person that worked for a police department. And that was all that was for him. That's all he saw. Just like Shiloh Hendrix, all she saw was that black boy. This Rodney Hinton Jr., all he saw was that cop. So At least we know what. Apparently, our eyes do work.
Yeah, that's true. Let me get this is for me from Alpha Male Pimp Network. Says the officer that was ran over and killed in Cincinnati, Ohio, was killed on Martin Luther King Drive area in Cincy. I thought that was interesting. Maybe it is. Maybe that is an interesting coincidence, is it not? That is interesting. And then this one is for me. Shout out to Empress Letes. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's any other ones. I don't want to miss out. I think we did get them. Oh, I think we did get them. So I'm letting y'all know it's a new day. Yeah, she raised a lot of money. Okay. And then let me ask you this. She raised a lot of money, but here's the thing. At what cost? Think about this.
Exactly.
At what cost? At the cost of, because by her making this Gifts and Go, that took the situation and blew it. Okay, the situation was already big. She was already going viral. Allegedly, people had already, of course, people found her name. So let's say, assuming that they found her name, she got fired, boo up to bam. She took this situation and she blew it up. And that's why it's this super viral thing, because of her Gifts and Go. All right. So, all right. She did that. She put her whole face out there. Her whole face is out there. Her whole full name is out there. Her children, one of her children, are in the video. She can blur the kid out. The kid is in the video. Okay, so one of the kids, even though we're not trying to harm the kid, but the kid is in the video. She's saying one of her other kids can't go back to school. Let's say she raises $1 million. Okay, then what? Then you move and you live off of $1 million, you and your 2 children, for the rest of your life, and that's supposed to sustain you for the rest of your life. Now, mind you, you're always going to be famous. Okay, people are always going to be able to recognize you, so you're always going to have to look over your shoulder. You're going to have to live the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, because people are going to recognize you. Your kids are going to have to disown you, because your kids can't publicly say, oh yeah, my mom is the one who called another black kid the N-word and went viral. So in order for your kids to have any decent life, they can't claim you at all. Oh, it's going to be
like I said, they're living in the short term right now, because this is their, like someone said earlier in the chat, this is their honeymoon phase. So they're enjoying what they would consider to be the fruits of their labor, as far as contributing to her financially, and that's why they feel like they've won. Because again, like someone else said in the chat, they feel like this was a pissing contest. We beat the blacks because we beat Carmelo Anthony's donation. Like that's what it all boiled down to, was beating the blacks, as they like to say. That was the narrative that they were running with, because for them that is all they need. Like they're not going to think any further than that. As far as what she does with the money, they could care less. But as long as they feel like they have won something, even in a very diabolical nature, or responding to something so in a degenerate way, that's all that matters. And one-upping us. Like that's all they live for. This is why I keep telling people that they are their clancestors.
Another thing. Well, I would say I'm almost glad that they're responding this way. It's because now the whole narrative of, oh, you guys are funding Carmelo and he's living a lavish lifestyle and he's buying all of these cars and this house, which we know is not true. But now they can't make that argument, because they're doing the same thing with this lady. And the thing is that they know for a fact that that's the only thing she could even be using the money for. So the whole pocket watching argument that they were using with Carmelo, they got to stop, because you guys aren't having a pocket watching competition with this lady who's raised more money and who doesn't have a legal case. She doesn't have to bail anybody out. She doesn't have to pay for a lawyer or anything like that. And they're raising the money. So That has to stop. And the whole thing of blacks are only donating because they hate white people. Okay, well, why are white people donating to what's the name? Shola, whatever her name is.
Shiloh Hendrix.
Shiloh Hendrix.
All you got to do is look in the comments of that gift single, and it tells you right there. They're
let me see if I can pull that up.
Try pulling it up so you can read some of those comments. Like, they're telling on themselves, and they have no shame, none.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. This is the gift single. Go. I can see the comments are like. Let me see.
Look at how much they're donating. Look at those figures. The top donors, $2,000, 2,000, 2001. Like, they are donating. Some of them are donating rent.
Yeah.
And mortgages and car note payments.
Yep.
1,500,
White Lives Matter. Yep.
Look at the average white man.
Average white man, close to $1,500 donating. White Lives Matter. Okay, about the same. We need to come together. All right. I wish I could see I can't, I don't know why if they took it down or something, you can't see the comments.
Yeah, because some of the comments was crazy. They probably took the comments.
Once I refreshed it, all the comments are gone now.
They probably took the comments off because they saw what people were writing. So now they just they probably just turned the comments off, and now all they can do is just donate.
Probably, because I'm not seeing one single comment.
Yeah, because those comments were crazy.
Look, George Floyd. Somebody said that they were George Floyd.
Look, what do I tell you? They bring that man up, and the thing is, the anniversary is coming up soon in a couple weeks. So you already know they gonna make that his name trend. Then they're gonna pull up that fake autopsy about him having fentanyl in his system, and it wasn't the knee in the neck; it was from an overdose. You know, they do that every month.
Yep, a lot of those donations, yeah. For some, where'd Torian go? Oh, there we go. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. But they think they won. But this literally goes to show you not only their fragility, but this goes to show you their hatred. And I want us to understand that this is what they're doing, and I don't want people to think that this is MAGA, because if you hear some of the shills on the Democrat side, they'll say, "Oh, MAGA is donating." No, this is not just MAGA.
This is not just MAGA.
No, this is not a political situation. Let's not even go Democrat, Republican. This is just white people. These are thousands of white people who have various political ideologies who are donating because they want white power to return, and it's to them it's full glory. That's what they want. So we just got to be careful out here, but it's okay. It's okay. Because, like I said, these black parents ain't playing out here. They're not playing no games. I think that I'll wrap things up. Let me see. There's a couple more super chats. It says a lot of her donations came from simps. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I definitely believe that. That's very true. That's very, very true. That's interesting, though. I think that I'll wrap things up. We've been on here discussing it. Just to let you guys know how pathetic they are and desperate they are. This just shows you desperation. Because there's no cause to do this. There's no righteous cause to do this. You're not making anything better to do this. Okay? And this sets a bad precedent. It sets a terrible precedent. Because what this sets is a precedent that's letting you guys know that white people will reward bad behavior. Okay. Well, that's easy to say when you're online and you got a little cartoon picture and nobody knows who you are or what you do. But if you're encouraging other white people to go essentially crash out on black people, that might not turn out the way you think it will.
Exactly.
If you think that this is gonna, oh, we're the bank and we're encouraging you guys to go out and we're gonna fund you guys, okay, yeah, you can say that from your cozy little house and nobody knows where you are and all the donations are anonymous. Yeah, you can say that, and then you're gonna have a crash dummy go out there and wind up getting handled. That so if that's what y'all want, that's what y'all can get.
Exactly.
Somebody play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And now, now notice what you're gonna like. We talked about it earlier in the stream. Notice that they're gonna start trying to bait Black people into doing something so they can get a reaction. Black people, don't fall for it. If you can, don't fall for it, because they're trying to do the same thing she's doing. This now is their new, like someone said earlier, this is their new scam. This is their new hustle. And they're going to try any and every way to get as much money out of it as possible. And they're going to sit there and have the nerve to say that we need to stop talking about wanting a handout. What would that be considered? A handout?
Or to get out of our victim mindset. Is this not a victim mindset?
Oh, it very much is so. No doubt about it.
Talk about her being held accountable. No. And now, because it's blown up, now because she blew this up, like I said, they're living in such the right now moment instead of looking at things in the long term. Now the police are involved. Instead of it going viral, now the police are involved. Now also DCFS is involved. Because now a lot of people are saying a person like that shouldn't be raising a child anyway. If she's going to sit up there and call another child a racial slur like that with a child in her hand, she wouldn't be a responsible mother. So now the police are involved, and now DCFS is involved. Now, what happens if DCFS looks into her situation? She already has a record, already has DUIs, already has a battery record as well too. Let's say they go into her house and they look and see what her situation is like. Be all like, you know what, ma'am, I don't think your children are safe here, and they take her kids away. Wouldn't that be interesting? Not to say that that's going to happen, but that would be a very interesting thing, because she would have bought that on herself by raising this gifts and go money, and that's a very good possibility that it could happen.
She better know how to invest. I do know that, because this is not something. It's not like she's getting all of this money in a residual way. This is a one go round thing. Like, this isn't something like, oh, you're gonna get it today, then you withdraw and then you get some more like a couple weeks from now. No, this for her is like catching lightning in a bottle. She probably can't even believe that she pulled this off. So yeah. But wouldn't it be but it will be more interesting if it came out and says, oh, it wasn't what y'all claimed it to be, and y'all basically gave all this money to this woman, and she basically pimped y'all out.
Yeah, she's sitting up there trolling about it. I want you to see this picture. I literally just forgot about it till right now. I want you to see this picture. They thinking that she's mad. Hold on, where is it? Somebody had put it in the comment section of my video. They thinking that she's mad about it. Okay. All right. She's out here literally trolling about it. Where is it? If I could see it, if I could find it, I might not be able to, but she's posting pictures calling Black people the N-word and all that stuff with a little thing. And, hey, that's fine. That's fine. If she thinks honestly that she's just going to be able to walk into the sunset with this little money that she's going to get, like you said, one time, because they're not going to be sitting up there funding her for the rest of her life. I hope she don't think that.
Because they're going to move on to somebody else. Yeah. Look at it. Do they still fund Kyle Rittenhouse?
No.
Exactly.
When she made her first bit of money, look at this. This is what she had to say. When she raised her first little bit of money, this is what she had to say. First off, she looked like she do drugs. Personally,
she really does.
I know white women don't age that well, but she looked like she do a little bit of drugs. She
literally looks like the evil queen in Snow White when she turned into an old hag.
Yeah. When she says 50K,
it'll look at her hands. She
That's
looks
true.
She looked like she just got bit by one of the infected on The Last of Us.
Okay. Now, when DCFS looks at this, what do you think they're going to say? Okay. When the police look at this, okay. What do you think her kids are going to say when they have to grow up and they're famous by proxy of their mom doing this?
And I bet
she did it to herself. I don't feel sorry for her at all.
And she might be in her 20s.
Ugh. She might be. That's a strong 20. That's a strong 20. She might be. Now, Tatum, he's not going to bring this picture up, is he? Is he going to bring this picture up?
Probably not.
Okay. But it's okay. That karma is coming back a lot faster than what she thinks she's going to be.
See, Philip says she's supposedly 36, so you mean to tell me she's the same age as me?
Damn.
That is a haggard 36 if she's 36.
Oh, yeah. When you look at her, you can just kind of tell, like, yeah, it looked like she got a couple DUIs in her record, in her past. It looked like that. I can kind of tell. I can kind of tell. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. But thank you, Torian, for joining us. Where can they find you?
Well, first off, how do you say that? Most of y'all can find me on here. If you aren't subscribed to me already, Torian Rain Reloaded. I'm over there on Elon's X, dealing with their nonsense every single day. Like I said, the only reason I'm on there is because that's where I'm able to promote my content at. If it wasn't for that, I would have been off that platform. But that's where I'm also at. But I'm also on Instagram as well. You can follow me on there, Torian_Rain. And I will be going live tomorrow to talk about two of their usual suspects that they conveniently, quote unquote, forgot all about or didn't even acknowledge. But I remember them, and I will be talking about them tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully all can attend on your lunch break.
All right. I'll be ready. Thank you very much, Torian. Appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. That's our brother Torian. You guys can be following me. Let me show you guys. You guys can be following me on my various social media platforms. If you guys miss out on the notifications, that's Afro Elite on Instagram and the Afro Elite on X, they call it now. In the description below, make sure you guys hit that like button. Very important. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Very important. I appreciate you guys. Also, hit that like button on Torian's thing because we were like multi-streaming it. Okay, so I was live here. He was also live, even though we were playing the same stream. All right, but it was being shared on two different channels. So go hit the like on his thing too and leave him a subscribe. Okay, hit that subscribe button on his thing and the notification bell. Hit that. All right, very appreciated, family. Very appreciated. Thank you all very much. Thank Torian. Shout out to Torian. Appreciate him. All right. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, thank you all very much for watching. Like I said, we're not playing about our kids. Nobody's playing about their children. Nobody's playing about that. If they think that this lightning in a bottle situation is some huge victory for them, I promise you, it's not. I promise you it's not. But they're going to find out the hard way. They're going to have to find out the hard way. But with that being said, Black First, my brothers and my sisters, thank you all so very much for watching. And if y'all, make sure y'all stay safe. Make sure your kids stay safe and y'all stay blessed.